is centered. Anyway, welcome. Happy Monday. It is the Monday after the Champions League final that took place on Saturday. But hope you guys had an awesome weekend. Hope you enjoyed the match, or hope you're enjoying the weather now that it's finally sunny and extremely hot. I hate summer. I probably enjoy winter and fall better, but hey, it's neither here nor there. Hope you guys had an awesome weekend. So let's get to it, right? Real Madrid, Liverpool. Especially like from my point of view, I didn't think it was going to start off that way. I didn't think Real Madrid was going to come out asleep really for the first half an hour, 35 minutes, and seemed lost really. They could not advance the ball past midfield. You have to credit Liverpool, of course. They were doing a great job of defending that midfield, of just clogging the passing lanes. It seemed like the forwards of Real Madrid were not getting open. I mean, you got to give credit to Liverpool, right? The first 30, 35. Yeah, I think the last 5, maybe 10 minutes of the first half, Real Madrid started to dominate a little bit more. But man, those first 30 minutes, Liverpool, I think that was their golden opportunity, to where you're like, okay, they have to score here. And they had a few opportunities. It was, I think, Firmino who found himself with the ball in the box. I think it got stuck to his foot, but he had to turn, right? And I don't know if it was either Ramos or Marcelo that blocked the shot. And then it was, I can't remember who got the rebound and had another open shot, and Keylor saved that one, which was a brilliant save, really. But yeah, I just from an objective standpoint, you knew Liverpool had to score when they had all the pressure. They were getting all the chances too. You knew that had they scored, I think Real Madrid maybe doesn't panic, but it gives them that. Because I don't know if Real Madrid's been down first in any of these 3 consecutive championship runs in the Champions League, right? On either leg, I'd have to go back and look, but to see how they responded or whatever. But anyway, at least this year in this Champions League, they were never down. They were never down to PSG. I don't think they might have been down to Bayern. I don't remember. But anyway, they I guess they were down to Juventus on the second leg, right, where tables turned and it was 3-0, and that got interesting. But yeah, I thought Liverpool had their golden opportunity that first 30, 35 minutes. Because you knew, right? You knew Real Madrid was going to wake up. You didn't think Modric and Kroos and Isco and those guys were going to be held up like that the entire match. So yeah, obviously the big news, especially in the first half, was the injury to Mo Salah, where I don't want, like, again, not being biased or trying to be subjective here. You see that both players hook arms. The inertia of the player, right? The running. It seems like Salah's already stumbling. I'm going to see if I can put a clip up or find a picture, because God knows how YouTube doesn't let you put any sort of video that isn't yours. But anyway, Mo Salah's stumbling. He seems like he's falling. They both have their arms hooked to one another. And if you've played football, you know that's common, right? And so they're both. So Salah is stumbling. Ramos touches the ball, I think, with his left foot, and just the inertia of the play, right? I mean, it's so easy to judge and be like, Ramos could just let go, Salah could just let go of one another, but they're running. Salah is stumbling, and maybe his weight, and then Ramos, both arms hooked. They roll, and Salah lands on his left shoulder, and it might be a collarbone. I haven't followed up with what happened, but obviously, knowing that the World Cup is so close, and I'm sure he wants to represent his country, you never wish anything bad to even to an opposing player, a team you don't root for, right? You want to play them at their best. You want to beat them at their best. So hopefully Salah recovers. It would be I mean, he's a joy to watch, right? If you're just a football fan in general, he's definitely fun to watch, and he makes that trio up front even more deadly than it is with just Mane and Firmino. So then it was just a completely different match where Liverpool's goalkeeper had two costly mistakes. I think is his name Krios? I can't remember his name. But the first one where Benzema was just alert. He just knew what was going on. He knew maybe the goalkeeper thought that Benzema was not going to partake in it, and he decides to roll it. In a lot of those instances, you see the goalie trying to throw the ball over the opposing team's forward or attacking player that's in the box, right? They try to throw it over, or they wait till that guy's gone. But for some reason, this goalie wanted to come out fast, even though it makes zero sense because Real Madrid was... I mean, it's not like they lacked shape or were in transition back. They had already gotten back, so he wasn't going to exploit some counterattack by playing it fast. So he decides to just roll it, hip level, knee level, and Benzema just, I guess you would say, a brilliant, smart heads-up play by him, stuck his foot out, and the ball goes in the back of the net. I mean, and then to the goalkeeper, what do you say? I mean, he's human, right? It happens, but as a Liverpool fan, I'm sure you would love it for it to happen, not to them or at that time, but I think sometimes that's just how life plays out, right? And then 5-10 minutes later, I think Liverpool comes out with a corner kick, which they had the ball. They were still getting some shots because got a corner kick. Was it Milner who heads it? No. I think it might have been the Holland player, the Dutch player. Excuse me, I can't remember his name. Excuse me. Heads it, and then Mane just puts it in the back of the net, and it's 1-1. And all of a sudden, you're like, oh shit! Like Liverpool is in it. Real Madrid is not that. I mean, it's a little momentum shift, right? For Liverpool. And you sit back and you're like, okay, we got a match. 60 minutes in, we have. It's going to be an exciting match, which you knew all along that it was going to be a fun one, especially considering how the first half went. Liverpool didn't seem to back down, right? And then substitutions come on. Bale comes on for Isco, who Isco did have an earlier shot that hit the crossbar, but other than that, he was just nowhere to be seen, really. And again, you can credit that to Liverpool's defense. You can that was applying pressure and just didn't allow Isco to have his way, right? Similar to with Cristiano. Cristiano had a quiet game, but it's football. There's been times where Messi had a bad game, where Ronaldinho in the past had a bad game, or Phenomenal Ronaldo had bad games. Zidane, same thing, right? Teams just know, okay, we can't let this guy beat us. Let's focus on, we can allow other players to have the ball and see if they can create something. So yeah, Isco goes off, Bale comes on. Bale has, people say it's the greatest goal in Champions League history. I'd probably still rate Zidane's volley in 2002 against Leverkusen, I believe it was, over it, but it was a beautiful goal nonetheless, right? You're talking about a bicycle kick in a match where it was 1-1, and he just puts it where the goalie couldn't get it. And that's when you're like, okay, if Liverpool is going to have, because it might have been around the 7th, and it was like 63rd, 64th minute. You're like, okay, these next 10-15 minutes have to be Liverpool's. They're going to have to come back in. They're trying to get back into the match. And they did have opportunities. Mane again hits it off the crossbar. Or not, excuse me, not the crossbar, the post. And as a Real Madrid fan, my fucking heart sunk. I'm like, oh shit, this, even without Salah, this team could still manage to create and have some shots. And man, that was probably their last clear opportunity. I'm trying to remember if they got 60 Bale's goal, that post, and then Bale has, I think this was like around the 75th, 70 something. Bale was confident enough, got some space from outside the 18, maybe like 25 yards or so. Just decides to have just to rip it, and the goalie once again another error. He decides to try to palm the ball and keep it, but you knew after seeing that replay it was just better to hit it off to the side or just get both fists and just punch it out. But hey, what do you say to him, right? It's just wasn't his night. Maybe the guy was nervous. All these things that you're just, it's life. He's human, right? Like I said before, I'm sure Liverpool fans would have preferred it to be preseason or not happen to them, but it's just the way it goes. And then, yeah, I mean, towards the end of the match, Liverpool tried, but I think Real Madrid just outpossessed them, and that was that. And then they just, I mean, what can you say? History. 3 consecutive Champions League titles, right? Never been done before, at least in this format. I think the last team to do it was Bayern Munich in 74, 75, 76, but not in Champions League. I think it used to be called the European Cup. Yeah, I mean, you're left as just a football fan, something that's never been done. Considering how many great teams have graced the Champions League format or just the European Cup in general, right? And to only be done, I don't know. I mean, if you want to include that Bayern Munich team twice, or maybe the 50s Real Madrid team, but in this current era, like 90 something and on, to only be done once. And you're talking about those great Pep Guardiola Barcelona teams, that great AC Milan team in the 90s, and for only to be done once, it's insane. I think we witnessed something. I'm trying not to let my fandom spill onto this and be like, oh yeah, it's the greatest team ever, right? But it is something crazy to think about, especially in the football world, right? Because you see it in the basketball NBA where teams repeat and go to the NBA finals year in and year out, and you're just thinking, wow, it's boring. You could even say there's some fixing going on, right? But yeah, you're talking about a football team that has maintained excellent for the 5 years, really, because they won 4 in 5 years. So hats off to Real Madrid. Props to Liverpool for getting that far and for putting up I thought it was a good fight, because I personally don't think the 3-1 score reflects what actually transpired Saturday. I think it was a lot closer than that. Like I said, the first 30 to 35, 40 minutes, Liverpool was easily outplaying Real Madrid, and I thought should have scored 1, but it's football. It happened. Real Madrid 3, can they make it 4 next year? I don't know. Considering what Cristiano said, considering what Bale said, Cristiano in a post-game interview said, well, it was fun, it was beautiful to play for Real Madrid. I may be paraphrasing. Could it be his last game in Real Madrid? I don't know. I don't think so. Bale said he wants to play week in and week out, but the manager, Zidane, didn't see it that way. So yeah, both Real Madrid superstars out here, very outspoken post-game, so that's going to be interesting to see what happens going into next season. So can they make it 4? I don't know. It's football. It's never been happened. I mean, 2 back-to-back has never happened, let alone 3. Can they make it 4? I don't know. If I'm oozing a little Real Madrid fandom out here, I would say yes. I don't see why not. I don't see who. You can say Man City, you can say Barcelona. I mean, you can say your typical favorites, but the way things are going, it seems like Real Madrid just shines, right, in the Champions League final, or in the Champions League, excuse me. So can they make it 4? I mean, if they can somehow, if Bale stays in shape and Modric and Kroos play well, and it's taxing, man. I didn't think we were gonna see a third one in a row, or a second one, let alone a back 3 consecutive ones, right? So it's definitely a mental thing, especially it's also a physical thing, but I think it's more mental. I mean, they also have the World Cup. Who knows how far Germany goes or Spain goes, and how tired Isco and Sergio Ramos are. So, yeah, it was definitely a fun season in the Champions League, in La Liga and EPL and all these other domestic leagues. But Real Madrid wins the 3rd consecutive Champions League. I would love to hear what your guys' thoughts are. What do you guys think, or what do you guys think is going to happen next year? Can Real Madrid win a 4th one? I would love to hear what your thoughts are. We're going to talk about a little bit about the World Cup here, which is in 2 weeks, or a little over 2 weeks, so that should be fun. But yeah, let me know. Can Real Madrid, the way this is going, can Real Madrid make it a 4th one in a row? Let me know in the comments, guys. Hope you guys have an awesome weekend. Take care. Not weekend. Shit, I'm so used to saying weekend now. Fuck. Hope you guys have an awesome day and a great week. Take care, guys. Much love.